I am a single mom of two amazing kids, a boy and a girl. Now, many people say I am intentional about raising my kids. Sometimes they say I'm fiercely intentional. They feel what I do is too much. You can actually fault me for everything. But I know one thing you can't fault me for: my parenting. And so I tell them that the reason why you might not really understand the way I parent is because you don't know my story. So let me tell you, I am an only girl, the first child of 3 children. I have always been big, always been the biggest in my class, being the biggest at events, being the biggest at family functions, at children's gathering. And then you hear words like Orobo, Mama, Elephant, words like that being hurled at you, to an extent where I started internalizing those words. And then I started feeling like a misfit, factory reject. I started feeling like there must be something wrong with me for people to start using. I never heard nice things being said about me. And they would say it with jeers. They would say it with mocking laughter, because they didn't understand what those words were doing to me silently. And so I internalized those words, and at a point started saying it back to myself and started believing who they said I was. So I went to, lived my life through secondary school with those words. I became extremely quiet. I started living my life through books. I would dig into books. I was just a child that loved to, read. Now I had parents. My mom was a sanguine, as in someone, you understand how sanguines are, parties. She loved us. She raised us, like the other speaker said, they reared us. As in, she didn't know. They didn't know what they were doing. So they just, like every other child is living. So let them, she's okay, she's fine. But there was something that struck her. She didn't understand why every other child would come to her, give lists. This is what they wanted. I didn't ask for anything. I was just there. Whatever you gave to me, I would take it. So I went to the university. First year, I met this guy. And the guy said, "Hello, beautiful." And I'm like, where? How? Who? Beautiful? That's not a term that is, used with someone like me. And then the guy started writing me love letters. Omo, you need to see this guy. He was, we that read books, News and Boons in those days, he was that kind of spec. Tall, as in, he wasn't dark. He was tall, broad shoulders, chiseled abs, watery eyes. I mean, you would look into his eyes and you could see that this is where my life ended. Those kind of people. And this guy said I was beautiful. The guy became my master, as in, long and short of the story, I followed every instruction he said. If he said, don't go to class today, I wasn't going to class. If he said, yes, because that was the only person that I had heard the word beautiful from. And so this person was actually my savior. God must have sent this guy to me. So long and short of the story, I got pregnant. Now, my dad is an academic. That my dad was a professor of medicine. You don't expect that from your only daughter. I was the one that took after him mentally. So you don't expect that kind of behavior. So I was like, I was going for an abortion. And I told the guy, I said, my dad will kill me. As in, that was the word. I wasn't going anywhere. So we got to the hospital. And then the taxi that took us, the driver said, "Is this what you are coming from?" And the driver started talking and started saying he was married to somebody. And the person didn't have, he had been married to someone for 13 years. The woman couldn't have kids. Now he got a second wife. The same thing is happening. That if this is what you are going to do, don't do it. And so I didn't do it. I stayed pregnant for 9 months. Guess what? I was in that house and nobody knew. 9 good months. I was pregnant. My mom took me to a gym because I've always been big. And so I was at home after university. I was just there. My mom said, okay, enroll in a gym. I was going to the gym. I was riding cycles. I was on treadmill and I was pregnant. Now we got home. The day I was going to deliver, I started having, my mom was confused, like, what's wrong? She thought it was those things that maybe your intestine, got together and everything. And so my mom used to be head of, a federal government parastatal in Ibadan. So it was during the festive season we had come to Lagos, and then my dad was at home, my mom got me to the hospital. And then I entered the doctor's office. I just told the doctor, see, don't waste your time. This is what is wrong with me. The whole hospital scattered. They were running here, test, this, that. Have you done scan before? No. Have you done any antenatal? No. Did you do anything? No. Do you have? No. Everybody got, scared. They were just running. Long and short of the story, I had the child. And then my mom didn't know what to tell my dad because I've been with my mom in Ibadan. And she can't believe that actually I was in that house and they didn't know I was pregnant. There's no how my dad would believe that story. So, I got home with the baby, and then I told my dad the next morning, I'm sorry. My dad was like, sorry for what? Unknown to me, my dad had the dream that I got pregnant and I did an abortion and I died. And he had told my mom, but I was just a child that they didn't ask anything. I was just there. She just, so they didn't know what to do. And my dad, there was one thing I later realized that, parents make mistakes. They have made some mistakes, but they portray this face of saints to us. And so we have this fear of even going with our own little mistakes. And then we end up doing worse. We make another mistake to cover up the mistake. One thing my dad did that was very good, or maybe he realized, he said, when the young man that got me pregnant came in, and my dad said, you don't have to marry this man. Don't cover up a mistake with another mistake. That was one thing my dad said till now that the guy felt offended. Like, in this day and age where people just want to push their daughter to the person that got them married, what's wrong with me that your father would say, don't marry me. But my dad, in retrospect, now started thinking, I must have done, and in the later years of his life, started, trying to correct those mistakes, started telling me things they had done in universities that were wrong. And, these were normal things that we did, but you could not even tell your parents. You can't gist about university days like you went to party. Is it your mates that they are looking for in the party? Which is a normal thing. The normal thing you say, okay, see, I did this when I was in school. This is what happened. When you get there, don't do this. But our parents don't do that with us. They make us feel as if, the way they were born after Jesus Christ, they are the next in line. And so you look at them like, me that are fucked up, how do I go and meet this Jesus Christ assistant and tell him that, I have sinned? So we are not able to do that. And so, our children get into more mistakes and more mistakes. So like the other speaker said, watch the words you say to your kids. And then there are some people that are extra sensitive with words. They have a portion in their brain that store up these things, and then they repeat it to themselves. One of the things that helped me, that brought me back and started allowing me have high self-esteem, is affirmations. Because words can destroy you, words can bring you up. So daily affirmations I say to myself, as in, when I got back, you hardly see someone this my size that was better than me. The way I walk, in fact, you want to see, I need to be big. I have like 2-3 people that come to me, please, what can I do to be fat? Yes, that's, to show you how much I have built there is nothing, nowhere I cannot step to, nothing I can't do. I have come to realize that, see, God doesn't make mistakes. If he wants to create everybody like the Chinese, He has the power to create everybody that small. But the reasons why he creates people in different shapes and sizes is for a reason. You are unique. You need that size to fulfill the purpose and the mandate in which you were brought to earth. So that is why God gave you that size. So use it and be the best that you can be. Let parents understand that children don't fall into the same shoe size. Let them understand you have to parent differently. You have to parent intentionally. If you are not ready to have a child, don't start it at all. Parenting is hard work. It is intentionality. You have to go all the way, every step with your child. And that is what I do now. When you see my son, when you see my daughter, people are like, it's all this. There's everything you can tell me I'm a bad person, but that parenting, you can't hold me to it. I go every length, every way. I am that, when they say your child, you're that support. When you say anything about, I'm there. Your daughter, I'm there. Anything that will make them successful, anything that will break them, I will fight it. Because I knew what it took me to come here. Not everybody are this lucky. Not everybody. Some people are still digging that grave that they are in, and they're still going in that vicious circle. And it is just God and, a bit of, sense that have brought me to this state that I am. And so I keep telling people, you have to treat your children intentionally and raise them up to the best of your ability. If you are going to have one, if you are going to have two, make sure you do everything within your power. It is not just about money. It is not just about, you have to teach them skills. One of the things that my parents did wrong then was that they gave us, my dad was not rich, but they gave me almost everything. I had everything. Till now, I can't take public transport. Is that bad? I could not. There was a strike in UI then. I was still telling my friend when we were coming, there was a strike in UI. And then they told us to go home. They increased the price. So I was go home. I didn't know my way from school home. My friend told me, yes, I didn't know my way from UI to Lagos. And my friend told me then that we'll go to Ojota. We're going to get down Ojota. When we got to Ojota, I was still in the bus. She told me, can't you see this place is yellow? Ojota is yellow. I was so calm. You can imagine at that age, I couldn't do anything on my own. When my father died, for like 2 years, I was useless. I didn't know what to do because my father filled my JAMB form, filled all the forms I know, told me the course I was going to read, everything. I didn't have a say at that age. I didn't know my left from my right. I didn't know what to do. So give your children adversity quotient. Let them understand that they need it. It is important. And that is why we have so many children or so many adults now. They lose one job, they sit at home. They can't go anywhere. They can't do anything. They can't even say, okay, in the interim, let me do this. They can't do that. They're just there. What else can I do? So you treat your children, give them some kind of adversity quotient. Let them understand that suffering, struggle, you have to start building it. Your 5-year-old is going to school, you carry their bag, carry their lunch bag, and then they are strolling at your back. You're indirectly teaching them that life is just a ball game. Your child wants to eat Indomie. My son will tell me, in the Indomie advert, they put egg and chicken. So I must have the egg and say, in which country? In this Nigerian economy, you have, so let them understand that there are days you will eat Indomie, there's no egg, there's no chicken. You will not die. You will not die. I still told her recently now that my son walked all the way from school home. It's not easy, it's not an easy thing as a parent to do. I almost died of heart attack. Like, how did you get home? But to him, it's a normal thing. It was a normal thing. But I don't allow him to do it. You say your children cannot enter public transport. Because at a point, they cannot do it anymore. And they will even start rebelling that they don't want to do it. It's just like chores. When your kids can't sweep at the age of 5, 6, by the time they are 12, they will rebel. They will fight you that they cannot do it. You have a problem because you have lost that window. All right? So from my story, I hope you've learned that you are able to treat your children, give them a bit of words of affirmation, give them adversity quotient, let them understand that life is not a bed of roses, let them understand that, you have to learn to be somebody that can think. They used to think for us. This is what I want for my children. This is what you should do. Let us put our own impact. Let us raise our children with intentionality. Because the way the world is going, we are sitting on a time bomb that is ticking. It is ticking. And so we need to be very, very careful when we are raising our kids to make sure that we try in all our, understanding. Go to courses, attend courses. They said parenting is not, it doesn't have a manual, but you can learn. You can learn parenting. You can learn, skills and structures to parent your kids. Thank you very much.